Hello, alright, today we're going to be reviewing Spider-Man PS4. Quick summary for the people who don't want to watch the entire video. The story, combat, edit, setting, and swinging is the best in any Spider-Man game, and I will be covering those 4 categories, and I'll also be talking about the suits for a bit. Obviously, insane spoilers for the entire story of this amazing game. I recommend that you actually play the game before watching this video. Or if you're like me and you are very, very smart, then you just keep watching anyway. Anyway, let's get right into the review.
Story.
Okay, so I'm just going to be recapping the story and pointing out what I like and don't like about this game. The story portion of the game. So we start off with 23-year-old Peter Parker living by himself in an apartment. He's pretty poor, which is pretty unique and different for Spider-Man from the get-go, which I think is really cool. I like different stories of Spider-Man. We learn that he's experienced and he's been doing this for 7 years, I think? Yeah, that's right. He hacks police communications to learn about upcoming crimes, and then we learn he's going to fight Wilson Fisk, and this could be the day that he arrests him. This part's pretty cool because I like the boss fight between him and Wilson Fisk, and just like the actual level. Yeah, he gets arrested, and then we find out that Peter's boss is Otto Octavius, and he hates Norman Osborn, who is also the mayor. Osborn's the mayor, because he hasn't become the Green Goblin yet, and Otto hasn't become Doc Ock yet. Just to let you know, this game has no chill whatsoever, and I love it. Yeah, so then we fight Fisk's employees, who are somehow still getting paid, even though Kingpin's in jail. They're like paid to work, and their boss is in like a really high security prison cell. Okay, and then like later he FaceTimes Kingpin. Spider-Man FaceTimes Kingpin inside of his cell, so I'm not really sure how that works. And then we get introduced to this gang of demons who are employed by Martin Lee, who is Mr. Negative if you don't read the comics, who's also working with Peter's Aunt May, which is kind of an interesting dynamic. I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, Peter finds this out, but he has to do the I know, but I can't say anything because I don't want to get my aunt fired from her job kind of thing. And then he fights Mr. Negative on a train, and then, oh, whoa, it's a Raimi movie reference. That's so cool. Yeah, then Martin gets arrested at the end. Well, okay, that's what we think. And then Dr. Octopus goes insane and lets Martin Lee out and all of Spoder's villains out of prison. So, this is my favorite part of the game. They assemble the Sinister Six! That's right. This makes me so happy. I've been waiting so long for the Sinister Six to be depicted in any form besides comics. And I am so happy that they are in this. They consist of Otto, Martin, Electro, which by the way is amazing in this game. Electro is never amazing in anything, ever, because he has no personality. But in this game, he has personality. And you probably won't notice this. I didn't even notice this until I watched Purposeless Rabbitholes video. Spider-Man makes a Rocky joke, and Vulture, like the obese boomer he is, he doesn't get the joke. However, Electro comes back with a few minutes later saying, I must break you, and here, I'll show you a clip of it now.
Spider-Man! I must break you!
You got it! You got my joke! I'm so happy I could almost stop fighting!
I'm telling you, this one joke fleshes out Electro so much. It blows my mind. It humanizes him in the best way. There's also Scorpion, Rhino, and the obese boomer Vulture, which is a pretty nice roster if I do say so myself. Anyway, then Spider-Boy gets his buttocks kicked by the Sinister Six, and he gets found by Yuri, who's the police cop that's working with Spider-Man in this game. He then gets evicted from his apartment because he doesn't pay rent. He's too cool for that. Then we meet Miles Morales, which is amazing, and he's like the Spider-Verse Miles, but like not as cool because he's not the main focus of this story. Then New York gets infected with Devil's Breath, which is not a symbiote infection, so it's unique for a Spider-Man game. Peter then dates MJ, which is pretty good and makes sense, unlike another relationship in a media that I recently covered. Anakin and Padme. Yeah, that makes sense. Then Peter beats the villains. Aunt May dies, which is the saddest thing ever. I think I cried in that, but I don't remember. Standard Spider-Man story stuff. But I do have one big problem with this story. I'm really trying to be negative. I'm really trying not to be negative, but I can't help these goddamn MJ and Miles stealth levels. They are the worst thing under the sun, and it takes the pacing and stabs it in the chest, and then it gets destroyed. It's destroyed. It's the worst. It's so annoying. My level of hatred for these levels are actually becoming unhealthy, and I do not like them in the slightest. Except the Oscorp one. Now that one's pretty cool because we learn what happened to Harry, and I cannot freaking wait to see what they do with him in the sequel. I could imagine some insane Web of Shadows level crap. Also, unlike anyone else, unlike pretty much everyone else, I don't really have that much, I don't really have a big problem with the puzzles. I do think that they could definitely be improved upon in the sequels, like maybe have more than 2 consistent puzzles. But besides that, I didn't really have too much of a problem with them. I didn't skip them. I actually played through them, I promise. They're fine in my opinion, and the collectibles are actually really cool in this game. Like, they are really cool, and it helps you piece together what Spider-Man has been doing since he was 15 as Spider-Man. All in all, this story has no chill, but I love it. And it's also okay for it to have no chill, because the story's like 20 hours long. So yeah, no, I really like this story, and it's probably one of, if not the best Spider-Man stories I've ever seen in my entire 7 years. Oh wow, that's crazy. 7 years of being Spider-Man in this game, and 7 years of me being a Spider-Man fan. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Combat.
The combat in this game is almost perfect, although I have no real problem with this combat besides a few things. The combat is pretty great, although, I mean, I think it would be personally cool if they added his web boxing gloves or some other weaponry from Shattered Dimensions. Get it? I said weaponry, and it's like a play on the word. Okay, I'll stop making puns, I promise. In the sequel, I think that they should add that from Shattered Dimensions, because, like, I don't know, I just think that would be pretty cool. The punches feel powerful, and you actually feel like you're doing damage, which some other Spider-Man's game, did I just say Spider-Man's? I've been saying Spider-Man so much, it's starting to take a toll on me. The punches feel powerful, and you actually feel like you're doing damage, which other Spider-Man games suffer with.
Come on, what do you got? Where'd Spider-Man go?
Yeah, this combat is really solid. Although the stealth sections could use a bit more effort. I think they took a step down from previous games. Although I really, really like the combat, and I don't think you would need to change much at all in the sequel. Spider-Man's web wheel is pretty cool, except for like the weird ones, like the concussive blast. And the impact webbing is amazing. I love that. Like, you knock your enemies farther than the concussive blast. And the spider drones are... Okay, can we talk about how overpowered these spider drones are once you fully upgrade them? It is completely insane. You'll be fighting like a horde of 19 enemies, and like you finish one and the other 18 are down because all these spider drones murdered them in cold blood. It's completely insane. MJ and Miles don't really have really good moves to use, but that's like stun guns and stealth takedowns, which they're they're able to do, considering usually they're doing takedowns on armed guards. I don't understand this. The boss battles aren't really fun. It's just the same thing over. Dodge, attack, dodge, attack, dodge, attack, dodge, attack, dodge, attack. It's the same goddamn thing over and over. Yeah, I like how the combat's simple. There aren't too many button combos, and when there are, like the multiple button combos, it's pretty simple. I think a cool idea would be for the sequel is polishing up the aerial combat, like in Web of Shadows, and adding in web strikes, also from Web of Shadows. I love Web of Shadows, but yeah, I don't really think there is much you need to improve for the combat on the sequel. Did I say? I don't even care anymore. On combat for the sequel.
Setting.
New York City in this game is amazing. I love how they made, I really love how they made like the buildings taller and the streets wider for better swinging. The city feels so lived in and so compact. And the only thing I would change is to make everything feel even more dense and more compact. The city feels so lived in, and I'm pretty sure they're already making it more lived in and more dense and compact for the sequel, which is pretty good. I really want to see that. I also really want to see what else they can do with New York in the sequel. I mean, they can always pull Far From Home and takes Peter out of the city, but I think that's stupid, and I don't think you need to do that again, like, ever. Anyway, the setting is amazing, and I hope that they can build upon this in the sequel. That's all I really have to say for the setting.
Web swinging.
The swinging in this game is really polished. Probably the most polished in any Spider-Man game. And it's the most relaxing thing, I'm telling you. Whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed about something, I just hop on this game and just swing, and it's so chill. I like how Peter has a different animation when he's swinging up something that isn't a straight wall. I don't have too many problems with swinging in this game. I like general swinging, and I really like the web zip, which I think is taken from Shattered Dimensions, but feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm probably wrong about that. A few nitpicks I have, though. I don't want to nitpick, but I feel like I have to, because I can't think of anything else. I like to go a bit faster while swinging. I don't know, I just think that would be cooler. Also, gaining altitude in this game is a bit clunky. It's harder for you to go higher in this game. Also, Spider-Man, so you know how when you're loading into the game, Spider-Man does all these cool poses, but he does none of them while he's actually swinging in the game, and I think he could really implement that into the sequel. But besides that, the web swing is amazing, and I love it.
Suits.
The Spider-Man suits in this game are my favorite part of this game, for sure. I love the roster of suits they chose for this game. I like how they didn't choose the black suit for this roster like they did in every single other Spider-Man game ever. Every single Spider-Man game has done that, and I'm glad they didn't do that, because they're obviously doing that for the sequel. However, the only suit that I genuinely think should not have been in this game is definitely the, drumroll please, the Torn Classic suit. It's completely pointless. I don't think that it should have taken up an entire slot of a suit. I think it just could have been a variant of the classic suit. You know how they did with the Lego games and the various slots that went for each character? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'll try to put it up on the screen, but I think that would have been cool. My favorite suits are probably the big time suit, the Iron Spider MCU suit, the Iron Spider classic suit, the Bombastic Bagman, and the 2099 suit. A few suits I didn't like were the 2099 white suit and the Torn Classic. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say in the comments. Dingo. The 2099 white suit is amazing, but I just don't like it. I think it's a good choice for a suit, but I just don't like it. It's too much for a single suit. So many things, and it's just too much on my eyes. Anyway, this roster of suits is pretty good, and I like it.
In conclusion,
I really like this game. I could go on about how all the puzzles are unnecessary, or how the MJ and Miles levels are really boring and nitpick the crap out of this game, but I'm trying to be more positive in my reviews. So I will say this, the story is the best story in any Spider-Man game. The combat is the best combat in any Spider-Man game. The setting is the best in any Spider-Man game. So is the web swinging, the suits, the humor, the graphics, and so much more. I would give this a good 9 out of 10, and I will wait patiently for the sequel. Please leave a comment if you agree or disagree. I sound like a robot. I'm gonna stop doing that enthusiastic voice. Yeah, just like leave a comment what videos I should do next. My next coming video is probably gonna be a review on Injustice 2. And after that, I might do something a little bit different. Not a review, but something a bit different. Something I think that you guys would think is cool, but I don't know.